G'day, Dave here. We're looking at Ecclesiastes. It's a book of the Old Testament, and Solomon, the king of Israel, uses all of his wealth and all of his wisdom and all of his resources to examine life under the sun. He's looking to find something that gives meaning to life. He observes life through various lenses, looking at pleasure, looking at work, looking at wisdom, looking at happiness. And now we see in chapter 5 looking at money. He's going to observe money and possessions and wealth and see whether that is where meaning can be found. And I'd invite you to pick it up with me at Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. This too is meaningless. He looks at people, wealthy people, and he seeks to find the one who is content, and it's disappointing. You see, money doesn't lead to contentment. J.D. Rockefeller, who was an incredibly wealthy man in the United States many years ago, was asked, how much money do you need? And he replied, just a little bit more. And you kind of think that must drive a lot of us. The billionaires who are still investing and still building their empires, you think, you're a billionaire. I mean, what more do you need? Or the surfer, he's already got a rack full of surfboards, and you ask him, how many surfboards do you need? And he says, there's just one more that I've got to get. Or the cyclist, who when you ask him how many bikes do you need, he says, well, N plus one, what I've got, and I'll always need one more. Of course, never satisfied, never enough. And when we look at what we've got, you'd think, surely we ought to be happy. But no, we think if we have something else, then we'll be happy. And you see, the problem with trying to find meaning and purpose when it comes to wealth is we've just never got enough. Now, there's been a change, hasn't there, in thinking in recent times. This declutter movement, the move to simplify, the move to get rid of things. And I'm interested to see what the fruit of that is. And some reports are coming back that, well, people aren't satisfied either by the decluttering and the giving away of possessions, which leads us to think that maybe it's not about what we've got, whether we have a little or whether we have a lot, that is the heart of satisfaction or contentment. There's a number of problems when it comes to wealth. Look at verse 11. As goods increase, so do those who consume them. And what benefit are they to the owners except to feast their eyes on them? You see, if you get more, if you're constantly accumulating more, then what benefit is it really? I mean, you can only drive one car at a time. You can only live in one house at a time. You can only eat one meal at a time. At least most people. I've seen some footballers eat a heck of a lot in one go. Or verse 12, the sleep of a labourer is sweet, whether they eat little or much. But as for the rich, their abundance permits them no sleep. Hard work, toiling throughout the day, heavy lifting, working outdoors, you sleep well. Whereas the rich, their abundance keeps them awake at night. Now, what is it that keeps them awake? Well, you might think it's perhaps looking at the stock exchange or looking at what's happening in the rest of the world these days. Is the dollar going up? Is it going down? Are my shares falling in value or increasing in value? What a strange world it is, where you can actually buy a barrel of oil for less than toilet paper. In fact, the barrel of oil is a negative value at the moment. How does that work? You see, there are things that keep the wealthy occupied and awake, constantly stressing over this and that. But maybe the picture here is one of having eaten too much and being kept awake by indigestion. I don't know. But I do know this. If you're looking to possessions, if you're looking to bank accounts, if you're looking to investments, to give you meaning and purpose and satisfaction in this life, then you're destined for frustration. You're destined for disappointment. You see, a person's life does not consist in the abundance of their possessions. Jesus taught us that. He warned against the anxiety that comes from trying to hang on to things that rust, things that get stolen, things that get destroyed by the moths, things that fall apart with age. And yet when we're living for things, if we think that the accumulation of money and possessions will satisfy us in this life, then there is a great disappointment. Jesus said there's one place to find satisfaction, one place to find true living water that will quench our thirst forever, and that is in Him. Will you turn to Jesus? He is offering you great satisfaction, great abundance, at no cost. Look to Jesus.